Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from the SMB Nation world and beyond. It's Thursday, September 19th, one of the last days of summer. So appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to join us. This is our weekly educational webinar. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Let me do a little bit of house cleaning up front. So first of all, be sure to use the chat feature to ask your questions. Second of all, make yourself familiar with our SMB Nation Fall Conference coming up October 10th through 12th, and you can learn more at fall.smbnation.com. And I'd like to highlight the content tracks. We've invested heavily in the content, more than ever. We've had some great people jump on board and help us. So again, the Fall Conference, October 10th through 12th, just coming right around the corner, fall.smbnation.com. The other thing would be is take a peek at our homepage for current news and developments in the industry. And while you're there, click over on the right menu side to the peer groups. Get to know us a little bit better with what we're doing in the community. With that said, we always appreciate the time you take out of your day to join us. And we have Steve Martin from Sonian, our friends over at Sonian, to talk about data preservation as business preservation. So, Steve, thanks for joining us. First of all, Steve, where are you located today, sir?
Sonian is just outside of Boston.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, you guys know how to do falls properly out there. Are the leaves turning gold already?
Not quite yet, but it won't be long.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, let's jump right into it, sir. You have control, and I'm excited.
As am I. Thank you, Harry. And welcome, everyone. I'm Steve Martin, as you mentioned, Marketing Vice President here at Sonian. Today we're going to take a quick walk through email archiving and how this relates to data preservation, essential for any business. We'll walk through some of how it works, why people buy it, use cases, and then we'll get into a product demonstration as well. So when we talk about data preservation and data retention, we're really talking about good governance. It doesn't really matter what business you're in. Data is your business. And protecting that data, preserving that data is crucial to maintaining the viability of your business and to protect yourself against potential litigation, other business pitfalls. And really key to this is email. There was a time not long ago when it was really just a commodity communication. There wasn't much happening there. And now as it has become really central to business communication, so much of an organization's intellectual property is either stored in email as attachments or is being communicated through email. These are conversations that are happening between employees and customers, partners, vendors. So much of your supply chain is now in your email that to ignore that fact is really to neglect your intellectual property. And data preservation is really a fundamental business practice. So we've got to get beyond thinking that backups are going to solve our problems here. Archiving is another level of protection and preservation, and we'll see some of those differences right now. So the Sounion solution, anyway, is 100% cloud-based. So to an end user, that means that there is no hardware. You're not installing another box or another blade in the data center. There's no software that's required to run on.
Steve, are you there? There we go. Steve, you faded out for about 10 seconds. If you can do a redo, sir.
Yeah, of course. I can't explain that, but I will keep an eye out for that. So this is a cloud-based solution, meaning there's no hardware, no software. Because we're leveraging the services inside of a native messaging server, Domino, Exchange, GroupWise, Curio, whatever you have, there's a switch in that server which you can flip, and journaling then enables you to copy essentially every inbound and outbound message to a cloud archive. So this is off-site. There's no implications for your data center. There's no additional network traffic. It's simple to set up. It can be done in a few minutes. And it's platform agnostic, so we're not married to any particular messaging server. Most anyone can take advantage of this. And once we've ingested all of those emails, copied them up into the cloud, we're going to do a full text index, and this will enable us to search faster and including the basic metadata in an email message: to, from, date, subject, that kind of stuff, time of day that it was sent. We're also going to full text index all of the attachments. So that's 500 different file types, PDFs and all of your standard Office document formats. Those are also included in the index, which means you can subsequently search on them. As far as data security goes, once we move this into the cloud, the data is going to be replicated 8 different ways and stored in data center clusters, which are regionally kind of geo-dispersed for security reasons and for redundancy reasons. This is encrypted both in transit and while at rest. And this data is being stored, obviously, in state-of-the-art data centers on worm-compliant drives. So that's write once, read many. This is a kind of DoD standard for drive security. And all these facilities are certified as secure. FISMA is a government certification for facility security. I guess the upshot here is that this is about as safe as you can get. You're not going to build a data center like the one that Amazon has built. So here's a great way to take advantage of that at a fraction of the cost. So from a end user standpoint, the data's up there. What now? We're going to assign an archiving kind of administrator, and they get kind of master access to all of the email messages in the archive. They can then that get assigned by the administrator. We'll take a look at those during the demonstration. So, this is really about an ounce of prevention. A lot of customers come to us after the fact, after they've lost data or after their on-premises backup box has been overrun with data and searches have become impossible and data is lost, or after litigation happens and they've been assigned fines from regulators or been sued by customers or partners. So we really try and sell this to people beforehand, but sadly, many of our customers come to us after having suffered a loss. So, this Sounion solution is more than just a backup, and that's mainly because of this fast and accurate search. So in addition to, well, in contrast to, say, a tape backup system or a SAN or any of these on-premises hardware solutions, yes, you're taking a copy of the file. You may be taking a copy of every file. But when it comes time to search across multiple drives, across multiple databases or tapes, you're going to have a different problem set. So our fast and accurate search across the entire archive is really what differentiates this from a standard backup solution. And your ability to recover documents, either because they were accidentally deleted or because there's some litigation process that's demanding you produce these documents, is obviously going to be key to your mitigating the costs and the loss. So, we would like to tell people you store every message because you just never know. And then when it's time, you can search every message when you need to know. And we're talking about millions of records in sub-second time. This is, leveraging the cloud platform here. We're using dynamic search clusters. This is supercomputer type speeds. The folks who tend to gravitate toward these solutions pretty readily, who see the value immediately, obviously the IT administrators. These are people who are charged with managing very large messaging systems, perhaps recovering files for users when they're accidentally deleted. They immediately understand the value of offloading archive messages, so things that aren't current, to get that out of the drive, to get it, it'll increase the server performance, reduces IT support time when end users can kind of recover their own files.
Hey, Steve? Steve, I have my first question. How long can I store email in the archive?
In the cloud without having to invest in hardware and software. A number of our customers are human resource administrators who may be charged with kind of keeping policies, keeping compliance within an organization. Almost, I don't want to get too big.
Hey, Steve?
The company inappropriately. Or that the company, yes.
Yeah, I have my first question.
Yeah.
And again, hey, just with all due respect, with an FYI, we are having you fade in and out just a little bit. If I can't tell you, who can? So.
No, I appreciate that. I got a
Okay.
best mic I can get. I'm not sure what's going on. Sorry about that.
Sure, no problem. No problem. The first question today is, how long can I store email in the archive?
Well, being a cloud archive, this is unlimited storage. So you're not going to be charged by the size of the database. You're basically paying per mailbox, and you can store it for forever. I guess is there's unlimited retention, so there's no rules around. You decide when you want to delete that data. Otherwise, we're going to keep it for you until you say so.
And I had my own question. With the search capabilities, so you're searching the text of the email, and it sounded like the attachments. Have you ever had a customer come up with maybe concerns that you yourself or someone at your company can read those emails, they can peek at them?
We don't keep any of the login information. So when you set up your account, you're getting the account administrator login. I mean, obviously we could kind of look at it from a systematic standpoint and say that's a 10 gigabyte database, but I can't get in there without the login credentials, and only the client would keep those.
Okay, thank you very much. Please
Oh,
continue.
not at all. Yeah, that's kind of standard questions, right? People want to know their data is secure, especially in light of PRISM and some of the other recent things going on. So in addition to human resources, legal and compliance, this is another department within an organization that's got concerns around data preservation, around intellectual property security. So they tend to be another early adopter of this technology. So why archive? We covered a lot of this. This is around recovering lost files quickly, speeding investigations of any kind, internally, or because you've been served with court papers that say you need to produce these documents from 5 years ago between employees who maybe don't even work there anymore. The archive is a quick way to get all of that information out to people who need it. And this is a world of difference from backup, if I haven't made that clear, right? So backup really is for recovery, and archive is for discovery. That's the way we like to put it. And the difference there is this fast and accurate search across across the data set. And add to that, cloud economics, the fact that this is, as we just mentioned, unlimited storage, unlimited retention. You can put data up there and keep it forever. And this is in a highly available, redundant, highly available system that can be accessed from anywhere in the world. With a secure web login, you're going to have access to this 24/7, 365. You're not paying for that hardware, for the upkeep of the data center itself, or any of that. These are predictable costs because you're paying per mailbox. So again, it doesn't matter if that's a gigabyte database or a terabyte. The cost is the same to you, which means you can kind of plan your IT budgets a lot more easily, and you're not going to be surprised with new expenses like you need to buy another drive to support all the backups. That's somebody else's problem in this cloud model. So it's got some obvious business benefits. For IT folks, it's definitely increased productivity in that they're getting fewer calls. People have accidentally deleted files. But even from the business standpoint, when you consider the fact that employees leave, and when they do, the new employee frequently doesn't get the full data dump. You don't have this opportunity in many cases to completely transition, to have every conversation so that the new employee is completely up to speed. Well, with an archive, you're basically enabling the new employee to conduct searches against their predecessor's email database. So they could quickly put in a client's name, put in the name of a contract, and get all of the relevant messages and attachments that have to do with that client. They could quickly get up to speed on their new job. And this really is about the second bullet here, intellectual property protection, because so much of what's going through your email is your intellectual property. These are contracts, conversations with customers, purchase orders, negotiations of all kinds, and the need to keep that is more important than ever. It's also a way to identify rogue users, to see people who are maybe using the system inappropriately, or who are sharing information with folks they shouldn't be. And overall, you're reducing your risk. you're responding to litigations faster, litigation discovery requests, and you're conducting investigations and audits much more easily and therefore more cost effectively. At this point, I just want to show you some of what's going on in the email archive so that you get an idea of how searches get conducted and what this means from an end user standpoint, how it works.
Welcome to the archive service. Once your account has been provisioned, the first step is to set up the mail collectors in order to process messages into your mail archive. Click on the Collectors button to take you to the configuration screen. The archive service has support for a wide range of email systems. If you're using the Exchange system or many of the other types of email systems on the market, you can configure a secure IMAP connector to the journal mailbox to collect mail into the archive. First, select the type of collection you're going to make, whether it's Exchange or standard IMAP journal. Enter in some details around the server name, mailbox, IP address, port number, as well as the username and password. You can then test your configuration at the bottom to ensure all settings are correct. The next option is the SMTP collector. This is where you can configure your mail system to push messages to a unique SMTP address. This email address will be used to receive email messages from your journal system. We'll then process these messages within the archive and make them available for searching. The next step will be to assign roles to users within your organization. The account administrator is generally a system administrator for your organization. This role has the ability to manage system settings such as configuring LDAP integration or user provisioning, as well as configuring the data collectors. The search administrator is generally someone in HR or an attorney for your company. This role has the ability to view all of the messages within the archive. It can create new searches, and they can assign those search results to lower-level users called search user. The search user will have the same exact interface as the search administrator, but they'll only have access to the searches that have been assigned to them by the search administrator. The Search Admin Plus is a slightly enhanced search admin role that is allowed to run audit reports and set the system-wide retention policy. The end user role provides end users with a self-service function to review and download emails and attachments they have sent and received in the past. Now I'm going to demonstrate the search administrator access. Once again, the search administrator has the ability to view all the messages and all of the searches within the archive service. The archive service considers each of the searches to be an individual investigation, and because of that, there is a reportable audit trail for all of the activity. For example, I can see that this user logged in at this date and time from this IP address, and we can see the actions that occurred. To start a new search, I'll click the Start New Search button. I'll be provided with 4 different options to be able to locate information in my archive. First, the Simple Search. Simple Search will allow you to search for a few static search terms or email addresses. To do that, enter in a name for your search, enter in your search terms, then specify a date range. The tags will allow you to add an optional tag word to the search to allow for further categorization. The permissions area will allow you to assign the search user role to provide an individual access to the search. The wizard-based search provides the search administrator with the ability to create very granular search conditions. We can choose to look for a specific sender and a recipient, we can look within the body of the text, and we can look within the attachment text. I can choose to include or exclude specific information by using these operators. Then I have the ability to specify what information I like to search on, such as a static word, a list of words, or specify a phrase. The advanced search is an entirely free-form search page and allows me to specify multiple senders and recipients. I can then include or exclude multiple different words using wildcards. The custom search provides advanced users with the flexibility to create searches that are more complex using advanced Boolean logic, fuzzy logic, and proximity logic operators. I'm now going to run a simple search on the term broker. The results view will highlight every instance of the word broker found within the results. In this view, I have the ability to review the message in a text view or the original view, which will contain any HTML or rich text formatting. If I choose to, I can download the message to a PDF or an email file, or I can send the message out of the archive to someone inside or outside of my organization. Also, I have the ability to recover the message back to my search administrator mailbox. I can further categorize these individual messages using the static buttons here. This is useful when I only want to export specific messages or if I want other users logging into the archive service to only review the messages I have tagged with a specific word. I can also add an optional system level tag to associate this email with an ongoing investigation and add a comment as to why I've tagged the message or how the message is relevant to a particular investigation. I can drill down into these search results by clicking Filter My Results. From here, I can essentially perform a search within a search by utilizing these different fields to help me reduce the search results. After categorizing and filtering the search results, I can now export my results out of the archive service by clicking Export My Results. In this view, I have the ability to export the messages to PST, EML, text, PDF, HTML, as well as to NSF. From here, I can also implement a legal hold. The legal hold feature allows me to ensure that these messages will remain in the archive service and will not be purged based on the retention policy I have set. The archive service also provides personal archive access. This feature provides end users with the ability to quickly find a message and or attachment they have sent or received in the past. End users have the ability to execute a quick search for a message, or they can use more advanced features by clicking Advanced Search. After the end users found the message is looking for, we can then click on it and view the original view of the message right within the web browser. From here, I can forward the message out of the archive service to someone inside or outside of my organization. I can download the message to an EML or PDF file, or I can recover the message right back to my inbox. Additionally, I can search for specific attachments that I've sent and received by clicking the Attachments tab. I can then click on this specific attachment, and this will prompt me to save this attachment to my desktop. The personal archive access is extremely helpful if an end user has sent an email they have deleted or an attachment that has been changed. They can go back to their personal archive and download the attachment and or email individually without any administrative interaction. There's no need to restore the mailbox, no need to recover the backup. The end user has the full ability to perform these actions on their own from their own personal archive.
So that's a quick look at how search users are working within the Sonian product, what that means for roles and permissions. And of course, now if there are any other questions, Harry, or to you or on the chat window, I'd be delighted to take those.
Yes, absolutely. Let me scroll down. Hang on a second. Okay, we have a question from Michael Scott. Will the deck be available after the presentation, or do they have presentations that we can show to our clients? That's almost two questions. Number one, can Michael Scott get the deck? And number two, I'm kind of hearing, what kind of sales slicks, collateral decks do you have for customer presentations?
So this deck is absolutely available. I believe I've supplied that already, and we'll send that out with the webinar follow-up mail. And then, yes, if obviously our existing partners have access to a wealth of material in our partner portal, so they have all that. But if there were individuals who are interested in presenting the solution to someone, they can get in touch with me. I can provide them with the specific pieces they may need.
Okay, great. And I'm just hearing from Heather over in the radio control room. Heather's saying, I have that, and we'll send it after the webinar is uploaded. Folks, of course, as always, you'll receive a thank you letter from me with the replay link, and the deck will be attached. Next question is, how much does this service cost?
Well, that varies a little bit. I guess the street price is probably a few dollars per mailbox per month. So let's say $3 to $5. Obviously, if you buy 10,000 mailboxes, then you're going to have some leverage with us, and you'll see significant price reductions. But if people are looking at this trying to figure out, well, what does it cost? It's roughly in that $3 to $5. And again, unlimited retention. It's going to store forever. Unlimited size. You can move up all your data and keep it there.
Excellent. Let me go back to my little chat window. It hopped in the background. Come here, chat window. That's the problem with too many screens. Have you ever noticed that? You got to find out where you're at. Here's another question. What about security? How is my data protected?
Yeah. What about security? Your data is protected a couple of ways. We kind of talked a bit about how this cloud architecture and its geo-dispersed data centers and FISMA moderate protection is, these are lockdown facilities, state-of-the-art data centers. Your data is being stored on worm-compliant drives. It's being encrypted at AES 256, not only at rest, but in transit. In transit it's protected through SSL. So this is about as secure connection as you can get. your data is protected both in transit and at rest.
Okay, great. Folks, be sure to ask your questions using the chat feature today, please. And I'm going to spin the random number generator to, we're giving away a Revo headset from Jabra. Very nice. I tested one. There's a funny story here. We're going to be writing a review on it, and I tested one of these gifts that we're giving away today on the webinar, and my 17-year-old son, a senior in high school, has disappeared with this headset. So that means it's pretty darn cool. And that will probably be the basis for my review, quite frankly.
Or have him read it.
With that, yeah, exactly. You know, it's hey, if the kids like it, it's you know, folks. Second call for questions while we're waiting. I'll tell you this, Steve. I've really learned a lot that my kids apparently don't use Facebook anymore. They use what's it, Instagram or the new, and
right.
there you have it. There you have it. Follow the kid.
Facebook's passe already.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not a shareholder, I'll tell you. Folks, third call for questions. It is third call for questions before I announce the grand prize winner of the Revo headset. And I'm going to count at 10,
Terry, we
5.
have a question.
Okay, Heather, go ahead.
So Michael Scott again is asking price per mailbox. He's asking, is there any minimum number of mailboxes? And he's wondering if it can be used for a 3-person firm.
Yes, it's absolutely. A number of our customers are kind of small, medium-sized businesses, and there's no limit, no minimum rather, as to the number of mailboxes, and it would be ideal and affordable for a small outfit to take advantage of, cloud archive.
Excellent. Heather, do we have any more rolling in before we announce the prize winner?
No, not that I can see, Harry.
Okay, so folks, we're at the bottom of the hour. Let's go ahead and announce the prize winner, and we can certainly stay on a few extra minutes if there are additional questions that you're thinking of. So I've spun the random number generator against the sign-up spreadsheet. So folks, we're above reproach, and it is, oh, I love this name, Trip Kirk. Trip Kirk, and he's coming from a consulting practice, TK Consulting, out of, it looks like, Bradenton, Florida. So, and I see that we have attendees from overseas. I have an attendee from Israel. How cool is that? So we have a great audience. Boy, I'll tell you, if it's 10:30 a.m. in the West Coast, that's pushing bedtime over in Israel. So thank you very much for staying up after hours to join us. So Trip Kirk, you will be hearing from Heather on how we can get you your prize. Thank you for joining us today. And we are clear, the deck is clear on questions. So Steve, why don't you go ahead and take us out with a little bit of important information here on how people can stay in touch with you.
Oh, thanks, Harry. Yeah, obviously Sonian.com, kind of the be-all and end-all for all things Sonian. I also wanted to mention our blog, which does not talk about our products, but tends to talk about industry trends, business drivers that we're seeing. And then lastly, if you wanted to look at that product demo, again, there's a little Vimeo link there, and in fact, our Vimeo channel has many other animations and demonstrations available 24/7.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you for joining us. Folks, thank you so much for joining us. We're all busy. The markets are at all-time highs, I see in the background. So there's some goodness out there. Have a great day, and we'll see you next Thursday. Goodbye.